we manifest. So we are going to do this a meditation, but I'm actually feeling that some of you need a little bit of grounding today. Some of you need a little bit of self-healing, a little bit of having something for yourself. So does that sound okay if we can do some manifesting at the end after we do a little bit of clearing? Sound good to everyone? All right.
Absolutely.
So everyone go ahead and find yourself in a comfortable seat. Take a moment to just be aware of all the sounds in your environment. If there's any distractions, any noises, invite them to be part of your experience today. And take a moment to center your energy right in your heart space. Then we're all going to take a nice, easy breath in. And as you exhale, just sending your energy down into the ground, connecting with Mother Earth, knowing that you're fully supported. Going all the way down to the magma layer, if that makes you smile. And then you're going to feel that beautiful Mother Earth energy coming up your feet, going up your legs, lighting up each one of your chakras. And then you're going to watch it forms a beautiful ball of light above your head. Put yourself inside that ball of light, and then we're just going to float up, 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 up. Keep going higher and higher. The higher you go, the faster you go. Keep on going until you get to the very edge of the known universe. You're going to go through an alternating series of bright lights and dark lights. Through a big, broad band of golden light that feels like home. Into a gel-like substance where your ball of light may slow down, but keep going till you see a pink cloud. Move on through the pink cloud into that pearly, iridescent white light. And as you go deeper and deeper, your ball of light is going to dissolve until you're completely surrounded by pearly, iridescent white light. So take a moment, take a deep breath in, just breathe in all this unconditional love and healing that's available to you. Knowing that when you connect to this divine energy, that your wishes will be granted, that you can have healing, that you can achieve all of your goals. And then we're just going to all make the requests together. So just silently in your head, just in whatever words are best for you, just say, hey, Creator, I just requested that I be filled with unconditional love and healing in the highest and best way. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. And then you're just going to witness so much of that beautiful pearly white light coming into your body, setting into where it needs to go. And feeling your physical body shifting and getting healthier. Yep. And then we're just going to all ground together so we can be present in this class. So to ground out, all you do is take another easy breath in. And this time as you exhale, you're going to bring your awareness all the way down into your body, through your body, into the ground. Again, connecting to Mother Earth. And then you're going to feel that Mother Earth energy coming up through your body again. This time when it gets to your crown chakra, go ahead and just very lightly blink your eyes awake. Coming back into the reality of now, that it's a Monday. Sean McCool's got a really cool Zoom feature on his. Love it. He'll zoom in the camera in so he can be really focused. Do some really beautiful, relaxed smile. Did everybody have a good weekend? Are we excited about the holiday coming up? All right. So don't worry, we are gonna manifest again at the end. We're gonna do a manifest. We're gonna repeat that exercise to call in anything that comes up throughout today's chat. Right. Got more people coming in. Perfect. So the topic I want to talk to you about today is like how to set up your life in such a way that you're always creating magic in your life. I know some of you have been able to do things where you have spurts of magic here and there. But I have come to the point where I pretty much consistently have a little bit of magic in your life. Right? Kosher turkey, that's awesome. Good to see you all. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story just to show what I mean by living a magical life, because we all have different definitions of it. Over the summer, I was deciding what to do to celebrate being healthy, because I went through some issues with my body. Like it was time for me to get back into doing my birthday vacations. Because before COVID, I had a habit of, it was my birthday, I'm going to go somewhere amazing. Sometimes I check with an astrologer to see like where I needed to be on this earth physically to create the best year. And of course, with COVID, I stopped doing that. And my partner had never flown overseas. And I'm just going through all the different places in the world that I might possibly be, right? There's a lot of world to go, lots of big decisions to make. And I just remember connecting to the creator and be like, okay, creator, help me create the best possible scenario. What's the best possible experience that my partner and I can have on this trip? And I'm sitting there at breakfast and I'm just thinking, you know, it needs to be someone that speaks English just to make it easier on us, because I'm not fluent in a second language yet. And so like, and my partner really likes Scotch. I'm like, okay, honey, we're going to go to Scotland. I'm just going to make the arrangements. That's where we're going. We're going to go to some distilleries. We're going to go to Lefroy. It's going to be epic. And it was. And then it's funny, as I'm planning it, there's another little shift that happened on the dates where I'm like, the dates that he had open were a little bit, were too far from my birthday. So I kind of shifted it around to another open in his schedule. That also allowed me to go to Germany afterwards and see a friend. And so we were all excited. Everything was quiet. And 2 days before our trip, I get a call. And he's like, did you see the news about the Queen? I'm like, yeah, saw the news. He's like, what are we going to do with our trip? We're going there in 2 days. Because this was the day that Queen Elizabeth passed. And I told him, like, you know, it just looks like we're going to have a slightly different experience than we were expecting. It's going to be very unique to be in a country while it's in mourning. And there's a magical thing that happened. We're going to the next magical thing. There's also a little hiccup where his flight from his business trip before was delayed. So we had to create a couple miracles to actually even get to Columbus, because for a minute there, we thought he wasn't going to be on the plane with me to Edinburgh. But not only was he there on the plane there, we had seats that were separated from each other. And there's a cute thing that happens to us as a couple now, where if our seats are not next to each other on a plane, either the airline moves one of us, or the person sitting next to me is so offended that us two cutie pies are separated that they jump up and trade spots. It literally happened once again when we were going back and forth to Fiji. So that's like our new cute couple miracle that we create. But back to the big thing. So the hostel that I booked us in was literally a block away from where the Queen was going to be lying in state. So we get there, everything's blocked off. We can't check in yet. I'm like, okay. So we drop our bags off and we just join the crowd that's gathered right outside the door. And so about an hour later, we were able to see the Queen come in. So we're like, okay, that was cool. We had this beautiful experience, just talking to everybody, being present with what was, how they were feeling, and just getting to know the people in a different way. The next day, we're like, okay, we had our experience with the Queen. We're good. We're done with that. We're just going to go be tourists and let the locals, because it's more important. Then we're going to let them, have their experience, because there was another procession happening the next day that's going to be much slower, and people were queuing up for it, I think at 9 a.m. and it wasn't until 3. So we go about our day and we're going to museums, we're going here, we're going there, we're having fun, just seeing what we can see. We were trying to go on a hike. Unfortunately, the hike was on the other side of the procession route. And so we were trying to find our way there and navigate our way there. And we got to a point where we're like, okay, this is going to happen in about 40 minutes. We may as well just stay here. So we found a spot, made some more friends. And we ended up being able to witness her going back up to St. Giles Cathedral and also be about 5 feet away from the new king. right? So it was pretty amazing to be in the energy of witnessing this procession. You know, when I was trying to do everything but be there, but the universe is like, no, you need to be in this energy. There was some lesson for that in me. I think one of the most impressive things about it is the amount of reverence that these people had. I don't know if you've ever been in a crowd like that, but it's a really, really, there wasn't any sadness to it. It's just the most amazing reverence that I've ever felt. So that was our beautiful experience. We also went to the castle and looked at all the flowers after everything, and went to Isla and had a great trip. And I thought that was going to be the end of me and the Royals, but no. My partner had a business trip and went to Chicago. And of course we end up staying in the hotel where Princess Diana used to stay when she would go to Chicago. I'm like, that's cool, that's pretty fun. But the universe wasn't done. So on my final day, I was just walking around, we were staying on the Miracle Mile. And I really wanted to, and I've never really shopped in Gucci or any of those stores before. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a fun experience. But I was up a little bit too early for them. So I'm like, okay, creator, show me the best possible experience for today. And so I end up in a Neiman Marcus. And because of who I am, I'm instantly made friends with the guy behind the jewelry counter. He's like, guess what I have today? He's like, I have the Spencer jewels. I'm like, you do not. So I ended up getting to try on $750,000 worth of jewelry that day, which is pretty fun to put a ring on because for me, that was a new experience growing up as a farm girl, right? But it was beautiful that the universe was leading me through this really beautiful, kind of gentle way for me to learn and grow, right? And also very luxurious way to really being able to like have these gorgeous sapphires. And it was just because I was nerding out. So when I say living a magical life, I mean creating those sort of things that are way more than you ever expected. Making sense? So what I want to do too is to help you understand how big that was for me, is to contrast that experience to the last time I went to Europe before I did all the work on myself. Last time I went to Europe, it was for a class. At the end of it, I had an ex meet me partway through my trip, and we went on this little side trip to Iceland, and he ended up leaving me in a bar in Reykjavik. So it was a very, very much different experience, right? Obviously a lot to learn. It was still a fun trip. I had some great talks with the fairies who were trying to tell me you need to be anywhere but with this guy. And obviously that ended. But just to contrast that, the fact that 5-10 years ago, I kept being in all of these different really horrible relationships. At one point, I was sleeping in my car for a little bit. I was kind of like living from gig to gig, right? To actually having like the most stable, amazing soulmate, to being able to have really steady, dependable abundance. I don't even think about where the next amount is coming from. I just know Creator's got my back. So not only do I get to have the best possible experience, but I'm not worried about money. So how many people would like to live a life where you're not worried about money? Where you just know every month it's coming in. You don't know how it's coming in, but it's going to happen, right? So I want to tell you guys something. First of all, you are already awesome at manifesting. It may not feel like it, but you're always constantly manifesting. The trick is, and you don't need to get better at manifesting at all. All you need to do is learn how to control the manifesting. Because what's happening is we are constantly manifesting good and bad things from our subconscious belief system, right? So it's not that you need to learn how to manifest more. You need how to tell your subconscious how to get rid of all the junk that's having you manifest the experiences that you don't need or you do not want. And also too, we need to, really spend time talking to our ancestors. You guys ready for another fun story? I teach through telling stories about my life. It's pretty fun. So when I was on my journey on this journey to becoming a theta healing teacher, at one point when I was going, I was kept signing up for this to be a teacher for this class called Advanced DNA. It's the second class in the series. And what would happen is I would sign up for the class. So I signed up, okay, I'm going to go take it in Greece. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm going to go do it. I would sign up. And then all of a sudden, boom, my calendar would dry up. I would just have no clients. Everything would bottom up. I'm like, okay, I won't take it this time. You know, that's fine. I'll catch it next round. And then boop, everything would come right back. And I didn't think anything of it the first time. The second time I signed up for it again. I go online, I sign up, I make that action. And again, bottoms out, everyone's gone. Like, okay. So pretty much the fourth time I signed up and everything bottomed up. I'm like, this is definitely a pattern. Sometimes I don't want to see everything the first time. I need a little bit of repetition. Some of us are, you know, it takes us a little bit longer to learn. So the universe repeats the things. And I knew, I'm like, okay, this has got to be something in me. Something in me is manifesting that everyone's disappearing when I try to take this next step. I had someone very well-meaning try to say, well, Marie, maybe it's not your divine timing. But I'm like, no, I'm not going to go with that. Because I knew in my heart, I'm like, this is my path. This is some BS. This is something that is, you know, in me, some energy in me is freaking out. Oh, it gets better too. So I call my mom and I'm like, hey mom, okay, so I know I need to take this class. My money keeps disappearing every time it happens. Can you just send me a check? I'll pay you back. I love you so much. I got a great mom, right? She sends it. It gets lost in the mail. It gets sent back to her. She sends it again. I get it this time. My bank is like, oh, we're going to hold funds because my mom was living in Iowa and it was like a county bank. And I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Just got in the car. I'm like, I'll figure it out as I go. Called the office, told what was happening. Then I had a weird situation with money. And just got in the car and drove to Montana. And ended up, you know, having a great time in class. It was awesome. But ended up taking the Manifest in Abundance class at night. And I got to be the teacher's example, which I don't really love, but apparently I was learning how to teach everyone. So it turns out I had some ancestors with some funny beliefs. They honestly believe that if you get too good at something, if you become an expert, then people are going to think you're too high and mighty, and they're not going to hire you anymore. That was not their belief. That was not my belief. That was their belief. And so every time I was trying to go up that ladder, get a little better at literally anything in my life, they would pull the rug out from underneath me to try to protect me. Right? So let's talk about ancestors really quick. Like I said, they're not trying to be mean, but when these energies interplay in our lives, these lessons that we get from them, it's not because, you know, they're always trying to help us in some way, but it's not like they gift us negative beliefs to hold us back. They gift us negative beliefs because, or they actually gift us different virtues. Right? They're like, oh my gosh, I learned so much bravery through this struggle that I went through. Here's some bravery. And that's what they're passing down to their genes. Or I learned how to be really adventurous. Or I learned how to be dedicated through this struggle I went through. So here's some dedication. And so they pass down through our genes these different gifts of these different virtues, but they learn them through those particular struggles. So as you accept that different virtue from the ancestors, you also get as like a little writer, like in your insurance policy, that one little line. Oh, by the way, here's a small print. Here's the negative belief that comes with that. Okay. So how do we undo all of this? That's the big question, right? Now that we have a little bit of understanding. So in order to undo this, like, I mean, I have one method, but there's a lot of methods people have, right? There's a lot of methods that are going to go out there and help you be like, what is it that I believe or I've believed in my lifetime, my conscious beliefs, and changing those. There's also people who can work on subconscious beliefs from this lifetime. I love going into the ancestors, going deep and pulling out those because those are always going to be the most effective. I see Empress going that, yeah, giving us a shout out because yeah. So there are a lot of different ways to do it. There's a lot of modalities. I know if you're someone who goes really, really deep into yoga, that does it for years, you are going to be able to access and change some of these things. There are different groups who do different meditations that simply try to raise your vibration. But there is something that happens if all you're doing is just trying to raise your vibe, raise your vibe, raise your vibe without doing the work to clean up any of the stuff that you feel in the in-between times. So what I've seen for some people is they push their vibration really high, but then your subconscious like, but here's everything else. So what some people do is they go through a cycle of going really high and then crashing and coming down really hard. And I know there's businesses that even are built around the whole concept of you have to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough. I don't know if you guys heard that before. There is truth to that, but that's not the only way you have to do it. Just so you know, that you can have breakthroughs preemptively without having to do that cycle of getting triggered, crashing, having a dark night of the soul and coming through it and having it be a dramatic thing. Because just so you know, that belief that you have to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough, that you have to struggle to learn, that you have to go through these intense initiations for you to get your lessons, is just another belief that we get through our ancestors. Does that make sense? You guys feeling that? You guys feeling that? So just so you know, the work that I do, yes, I mean, I still have breakdowns. I still have things that happen, but not to that intent. What happens with the work that I do is we try to take a little nugget of feeling, like I'm feeling just a little mildly not okay, right? And we dig all the way down into that and release every single energy so that you don't have to have those, your subconscious doesn't have to yell at you to listen. So here's how it works. There's a belief that's not working for us. It's in our ancestors, it's in us, it's wherever it is from the collective consciousness. And your subconscious, the universe, will give you an opportunity to learn from that. And you may, and you're like, if you're like me and you can be kind of hard-headed, maybe you don't listen the first time. And you're like, okay, you just get through whatever incident your subconscious has created. And then it keeps getting louder and louder and louder until you actually listen. Does that make sense? So what I try to do is I try to be able to help you listen before you get to the pinnacle of how loud it has to be. Because no matter what, our bodies want to heal, our souls want us to heal. So it's going to keep getting louder until you listen. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to learn to listen a little bit. Are you guys ready to, in a few minutes, we're going to do some breakout rooms and do some group exercises. I think groups of 3 or 4, however, divides up easily, more than 2, but I'll leave that up to Lewis. So like I said before, with the ancestors, they don't want to give us pain. They don't want to give us, they're really hard to develop these different virtues. But right now in your life, you are developing your own set of virtues. You're developing all these different things through the struggles you're going through. So the first step is you start to learn to recognize every virtue that you're learning through your struggles now. And we also, eventually, once you release it, you have to have struggle to learn, then you start learning the virtues through really joyous things, right? Like getting put next to the plane, next to you on the plane all the time, or getting to see the queen, right? So that story I told you in the beginning, that was a way for me to learn different virtues and shift my energy without having to go through struggle. In fact, going through something incredible. Actually, before I even go into that, I said, okay, if we just do like a little bit of a group release. So for anybody who wants to accept the shift in their energy, like basically releasing, I have to struggle to learn. Can we all just, really replace that for you with, I can learn through joy? Raise your hand if you want to accept that shift in your energy right now. All right, I'm gonna go up and witness that for you. Do I need to repeat it? Are we good? Okay. So everybody go ahead and just close your eyes and relax. I'm going to walk myself up and just witness that for everyone who raised their hand and let me know. And we'll give you some downloads too. If you're not familiar with downloads, it's just bringing in a brand new energy. So can we just teach your bodies, teach your souls what it feels like to learn and grow, to learn virtues through joy? That lessons and virtues learned through joys are worthy and amazing. Is it safe and possible and easy for you to learn through joy? And do you want to know what it feels like to live and to learn and to grow without struggle? And that it's possible for this human incarnation of you to learn without struggle. So if you want all those downloads, just nod your head, say yes, give me a thumbs up. We'll make sure all of those go in. I know some have been nodding the whole time. Thank you. All right, beautiful souls. So float on back to active listening. So what we're going to do now is just a really simple exercise. Well, it can be simple. Can I give you the download that it's going to be simple? Right. Of looking at, so just think about something that's going on in your life right now. Some feel like, oh man, this situation's so annoying. Or it can be really good to think about when you get irritated with someone, because we only get annoyed or irritated or resentful on a continuous scale with people if we're learning something from it. So resentments are something that teach us. We're always growing from them. So the trick is to tap into, when you're in a situation in your life that's not going really great, is to ask yourself, go up to the highest version of you and ask yourself, what am I learning? What am I gaining? What am I getting out of the situation? That makes sense? I know it's easy for us to be, but they're the one who did this, and to put the blame outward, right? But when we create interpersonal relationships, like when there's an interplay between two people, because people are always reflecting back some energy that you're sending to them, there's always an interplay, right? There's also something called soul contracts, right? Which we have with siblings, where we're like, I want you to teach me boundaries, right? And siblings aren't going to teach you, they don't usually teach you these things in very nice ways if you're not good at listening to subtlety, right? So I'm actually feeling, yeah. So for this group, feeling into a relationship that may not be going so great, at least some of you need this guidance, and to feel into and think about how you feel when you're in that relationship with the person. And ask yourself, what am I trying to learn from feeling this way? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to walk you up. So I'm going to walk everybody up so that you're in that theta brainwave, so you're in that relaxed state, because it can be kind of hard when you're in your conscious mind, when your eyes are open, to search your brains for this answers of what am I learning, right? Because sometimes your brains are still in kind of that grr space of I'm hurt. But tapping in, so I'm going to walk you up so you can talk to your higher self, connect to the creator or God or whatever your higher self is, to find that answer. Does that sound good? So the other guidance I give you when you're looking at what am I learning in this situation right now, is I tell people to sort of pull the camera back. And so you're looking at your life from above. You're looking at the situation from the eyes of the creator. Oh, we're working on this real time. Wonderful. I love it. Oh, I know we're going to do it a little bit too. Cool. I love how you guys are helping me create what else we're going to do in this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk everybody up. Yep, there we go. Yeah, a lot of us are dealing with interpersonal things. I am not an astrologer. I don't know what's going on with astrology, but this last week has been about like, I have to say my piece, right? Who else feeling that? You got to say your piece to someone. A little bit like, yeah, there's something about self-expression that we need to stand up for who we are. But here's the thing. When we're doing this exercise and we recognize what we're learning out of a disagreement, It doesn't mean you don't express yourself afterwards. So what you do is you go up, you're like, okay, creator, what do I get out of this? What am I learning? Right? We accept, and we're actually going to download all of you with everyone's lessons in a minute. So it's going to be great. But then once you've cleared all that negative energy, once you've really cleared that, then think about how beautiful your conversation is going to be when you do say your piece, when you do express everything that you need to express. Yeah. All right. So is everybody ready now that you've tapped into, now that you have the cognitive understanding of what we're doing? Is everybody ready to be taken up and to ask your higher self, to ask the creator what your beautiful lesson is? I'm going to give you one piece of advice too as you're doing this. If it doesn't feel like, oh my God, that's beautiful. Okay, that's a cool lesson, right? If it doesn't have that glowy feeling, right? If it's still like, grr, right? Go a little bit higher, right? If it still doesn't feel like it's an enlightened answer that's full of love, just imagine yourself going even higher and asking again. Makes sense? Any questions before we start this? I haven't been reading all the comments. I think I got most of them. Okay. Everybody's 1,000% on board, ready to go get some answers. Okay, wonderful. Let's do this. All right. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a moment to center your energy in your heart. I'm going to take a nice, easy breath in. And as you exhale, send your energy down into the ground to connect to Mother Earth. Feel that energy coming up your body, lighting up each one of your chakras, and watch that forms a ball of light above your head. Put a little version of yourself inside that ball of light, and then you're going to float up, 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 past the moon, past the stars to the very edge of the universe, through an alternating series of bright lights and dark lights, through a big broad band of golden light, into the jelly-like substance, and keep going till you see a pink cloud. Move on through the pink cloud, through the window, into the bright white light. And as you go deeper and deeper, your ball of light's going to dissolve. And keep going higher and higher until you're completely surrounded by nothing but bright white light. And then you're going to just make the request, hey, creator, can you please show me what am I learning from this situation, from this conflict? And if the answer you're feeling doesn't feel like it's coming from a place of love, again, just go yourself back in that bubble, go a little bit higher, 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 ask again. Or even you can rephrase it and you could ask, hey, creator, what is my soul learning from this? Or what could someone learn from something like this? So just to put more distance, just to put it more outside of yourself. And when you get an answer, float on back and open your eyes. So we know who's here, who's gotten their answers. And this kind of listening takes practice. So it's okay if you don't get an answer right away. You can also imagine, if you want to engage your brain, you can imagine, what could I be possibly learning that's amazing? So what I'm going to have you all do, I see some eyes open. So if you've got a beautiful answer, a really light answer, you can go ahead and write it in the chat. Is there anybody who's like, man, I keep getting like a kind of a heavy answer? Anybody feeling stuck in human land? Or did everybody get who got one? Okay. Okay. So let's start writing in the chat. Just one word, especially if there's one word, if it's longer than that, you can put it in. But so we've got opportunities, we've got unconditional love, right? Be patient. Oh, and being able to hear them out, that's beautiful, right? Beautiful focus. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Actually, Eve, can we put you in the hot seat? Are you available to come on camera and chat for a little bit? Yay! Oh, I like Kelly's. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay, wonderful. So what we're going to do is we're just going to walk you through a process. When you get an answer,
Okay.
that's not making your heart sing. And so all of you can also use that tool when you're checking into, because sometimes we have different filters in our brain when we're getting messages from Creator. And this is a way to work through those filters. I just taught a class, yes, over the weekend on learning about those filters, but here's what you do. When you're like, okay, that's a cool lesson, but that's not like a divinely inspired lesson. So you ready for this? Okay. So all I want you to do is tapping into, so your answer was that I'm learning how to overcome. So I just want you to close your eyes and come into your heart space. And I want you to imagine what it feels like to overcome something. And tell me, what's the best feeling when you overcome something? Like, how do you feel about yourself?
Okay. The best part of overcoming is a feeling, the relief and the release of whatever was really weighing on me. I feel usually lighter and beyond it. Like I don't have to deal with that anymore.
Okay.
Freedom. I feel freedom.
Oh, see, there we go. She got there with one step. My next question was, what's the best part of that? Right?
Oh, okay, cool.
Right? The freedom. Freedom is what we're looking for, because that is the purest, highest, most distilled energy. And you also notice when you say the word freedom out loud, how does that feel compared to what you said before?
It feels much more expanded and lighter. Like, see, that one made me feel happy. And the overcome, I'm just like, well, I'm overcoming everything. I have to work on overcoming everything. So how's this different?
Right. So instead, yeah, so that's what we're looking for when we're talking about these lessons that we're getting. So if any of you want to take a moment and see if you have a little bit higher, a little bit more beautiful version, then go ahead and check. But thank you so much. That wasn't that simple. That's all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So one thing I noticed that when I walk my clients through some of this, of like acknowledging what is what is that beautiful thing that your soul learned. There's some people that their energy literally shifts, like their energy shifts automatically before I even do the work, but we still go through doing all the shifts. Because that is the point of us being here on earth and being human. It's not to struggle. It is to learn these different virtues. Makes sense? That's what we are. We're here on earth doing this thing because we're basically playing a Pokemon game, but with virtues. Got to go get all the virtues. We're going to get them any way we can. So how about we go ahead and give you guys some shortcuts, a little bit of a boost. And if it's all right with you guys, you can just keep giving me a thumbs up. How about I just download you with all of the lessons that all of you have learned that you've written in the chat? Sound good? So bring these vibrations in for everybody. Okay. Okay, yeah, I get that for you. So first of all, so I'm going to do a whole bunch and then do them all at once. Do you want the creator's perspective and definition of an opportunity? That you understand what opportunities feel like, that you know how to accept opportunities. And you also want the creator's perspective and definition of unconditional love. That you know what it feels like, that you know how to have unconditional love. That you know how to live your everyday life in the energy of unconditional love. And you also want the creator's perspective and definition of patience. That you know when to be, how to be, and it's possible to be patient. And you also want to know that many of you are done learning patience, like you've got it down and you no longer need to prove how patient you can be. And you also want the creator's perspective and definition of really listening. That you know when to, how to, it's possible to listen. And that you know how to listen with an open heart. But that you still know how to hold your own mind, right? To have your own beliefs while being able to be open to listening to others. So you want that group of downloads, just say yes, and then we'll do another set. And you want the creator's perspective and definition of focus. That you know how to focus in the highest and easiest and best way. And you also want to know what it feels like to really care for and nurture yourself. Okay. Do you want the creator's perspective and definition of freedom? That you know what it feels like, you know how to be, and it's possible for you to be free now. And do you want to know what it feels like to really know that nothing can be taken from you? Right? That you're safe, that you get to keep what you've collected, that you've got to get to keep what you've grown, that you're safe from having things taken. Okay. Oh, so do you want to know that you can learn what to avoid without having to experience it? That you can know what is unsafe, things that you choose not to have in your life without having to perceive them, be around them, even see them. That you can create a life of positivity through experiencing positivity. Do you want those downloads? Just say yes. Yay. Wonderful. How's everybody feeling? Feeling good? Okay. I feel like we're going to do a couple more clearings too, just to help really, really integrate this. Right? So the next thing we're going to do, and this is just going to be everyone's doing it in their own space. And then afterwards, we're going to, I'm going to do exercises, then we're going to give you guys a chance to just reflect and talk with each other in breakout rooms, because I know a lot of us process through sharing. So we'll give you a chance to do that in a little bit. But I am going to run you through two more things. So there's something else called the forgiveness exercise, which is huge. So you've acknowledged the lesson that you're getting from the situation that you're in, right? So next thing we're going to do is we're going to call in some forgiveness, and then we're going to cut the cords with them. Does that sound good? Cut any negative cords, do a little bit of a divorce exercise to get you really clear on this one situation, right? So the forgiveness exercise, it is really, really super simple. And just so you know, we do forgiveness for ourselves, right? When we are in the energy of true forgiveness, it literally means I am not taking any more shit from you. I'm not taking any more negative energy. We're just not doing that anymore. So your energy just shifts to the point you're like, nope, we're not playing this game. Right? It doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that you never talk to them again or that you cut them out, or, some people think that when you do this, it means you have to like invite them back in your life, in the same way. You can have whatever relationship you want with someone after you do this. Sometimes it's actually going to improve the relationship. You can be surprised. I've actually seen this exercise, just doing the forgiveness exercise, literally drastically shift, turn things on a 180, right? So you can still say your piece after you've done it, but again, the more calm you are, because like I said, the theme for this week has been being heard and having our voices heard. This is just going to help you do it a lot more clearly. And you're going to feel great because you're like, I'm not taking I don't have that undercurrent of negative energy flowing between us anymore. Sound good? So there's 3 ways that people react, and I'll explain that afterwards, like what those mean. Usually when we do this, people either hug you and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, or they disappear, or they stare at you. So those are the 3 types of reactions. They may look a little bit different, but just so you know to take note of that, and I'll explain what that means afterwards. Sound good? Okay. So what we're going to do is, again, I'm going to walk you up to that beautiful white light. You're going to imagine that person is in front of you. You're going to, in your mind, silently, we're not saying this out loud, just in your mind express, oh, this is how I'm feeling because of your actions, right? So you are going to, in your mind, have your say. And that's it. And when you feel like you're done, you're going to say, and I forgive you. Everybody feel like they can do that? Easy peasy. And then when you're done, just blink your eyes away, because I know most of us are back. All right. So off we go, back into it. I know you didn't know you get so much healing tonight, did you? You're like, I came here to learn stuff. Closing your eyes, taking a moment again to center your energy right there in your heart. Take a nice, easy breath in. So you exhale, send your energy down into the ground to connect to Mother Earth. Feel that energy coming up your body, lighting up each one of your chakras, and watch it forms a ball of light above your head. Put yourself inside that ball of light, and then we're going to float up, 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 past the moon, past the stars, to the very edge of the universe, through an alternating series of bright lights and dark lights, through a big broad band of golden light, into the gel-like substance, and keep going to that pearly iridescent white light. And as you go deeper and deeper, your ball of light is going to dissolve. So I want you to imagine that person in front of you in this place of safety. You're going to express in your mind how you felt because of them, right, in your interactions. And then when you've expressed yourself, remember to say, and I forgive you. And then when you're done, just come back and open your eyes. Some people have more to say than others, and that's totally fine. All right, so, okay. So floating back. So let me explain. So how does that feel? Are we feeling pretty good? So just for you to know, when they say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," right? That they literally mean it, right? That's pretty cut and dry what that means. Like that means that they actually have remorse. The people, I don't know if some of you may have had someone who just stared at you and they didn't respond, they didn't go away, they didn't really react. That just means you have more work to do, that you're still learning from that situation, right? Which means going back into that first exercise, going back up to that place of safety, looking at your life from time and look, okay, what else am I getting out of this? Because some relationships are the gifts that keep on giving. With my sister, I had to do this multiple times because we had like a lifetime of things that needed to be worked through, and that's okay. But if they just kind of poof or disappear or walk away without saying anything, that just means that they have no remorse. But whether they say, "I love you, I'm so sorry," or if they just disappear, that's for you to know that the energy between you two on that situation, on those things that you expressed have been cleared, that you're done. Make sense? Any questions? How's everybody feeling?
Good. Mary, can you repeat the last two steps? Because I got the first one about no, what is it? If they say I love you, you can feel with sincerity,
Yep, I'll repeat that.
that's clear. And then thanks.
Okay. So if they say I love you, they hug you, if they talk back to you and react with love, that means that the energy has been cleared for whatever you were talking about. And that the situation is resolved and then they truly have remorse. If they just look at you blankly, like you grow with their head and they're not sure what you're talking about, or if they're just mute, that means that you are still learning something from this situation, right? If they just disappear, that means the energy has been cleared, but they have no remorse, right? If you have a problem with them not having remorse, if you get mad about that, then again, that's for you to be like, so why do I need them to be sorry? But that's a whole nother discussion. In the second thing, if they're just looking at you, the further steps that you take, you're like, okay, I have more to learn from this, is going back up, going into whatever meditation, whether it's mine or another, to go up to that higher self and be like, okay, higher self, what else is there? Right? Because there are, like I said, there are, especially if you have a soul contract with someone to learn something, like I said, oftentimes these are siblings, right? Like I said, working through this exercise with my sister, I did it multiple times because, things had built up. And that's okay. I'm just like, okay, what else am I learning? What else am I learning? Right. So some people are really, really big teachers. And so, yeah, so you just go up, be like, okay, what else am I learning? Cool. Okay, I'm going to integrate that. Yep. And just keep going back and forth. So, okay, question. Yeah, it can work with different parts of you too, although there's a lot of other different ways to dive into the different parts of ourselves. It does, because absolutely, because I will do the forgiveness exercise with my younger self, because I'll acknowledge, okay, I know that you were learning this, but I'm kind of annoyed that you made these what I consider to be really, really idiot, decisions. So yeah, there's a lot of times when I'm in women's groups, I will do just a self-forgiveness exercise just to get us through a lot of things. So doing that with yourself is good because we also do learn from our brains doing weird things. Because like I said, the universe is going to bring the lessons in however we're going to receive them. Okay. And to give everyone a time to talk, is it okay if I just witness for you some cord cutting for you and all those relationships? All you have to do, right, is in your space, sort of hold them up for me. And we'll just come across and just release you energetically from whoever it is you're working on. Okay, beautiful. That will give you a little bit more time to chat and reflect and really, yeah. So, all right. And actually, I'm going to walk you all up to the crater so you can relax during this too, just because we can't get enough of that connection, right? So go ahead and close your eyes, center your energy in your heart. We'll take a nice, easy breath in. As you exhale, send your energy down into the ground to connect to Mother Earth. Feel that energy coming up your body, lighting up each one of your chakras, and watch it forms a ball of light above your head. Take a moment to notice what color that ball of light is. Put yourself inside of it, and we're going to float up, 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 past the moon, past the stars to the very edge of the universe, through an alternating series of bright lights and dark lights, through a big broad band of golden light, into the jelly-like substance, and keep going to you in that pearly iridescent white light. And just stay there in that unconditional love and receive as we just release you from any of the energetic, any of the negative, heavy cords that connected you in this relationship. And can we also, I'm hearing, can we also just nod or give me a thumbs up if it's so cool if we just release any soul contracts too, or any other energy that needs to be released between you and this other person. Gotcha, I see you. All right. I feel like a few of you needed extra work. Yep, being as thorough as possible. I see you. We got you. All right, so everybody take an easy breath in again. Exhaling, coming into your body, reconnecting with Mother Earth, grounding back into this reality of it's a Monday. We're doing a mastermind. This one feels a little different. So what I'd like to do now is just give everyone a minute, a couple minutes. Can we do like, how many groups do you want to do, Lewis? I want to give everybody like, basically have everybody have like about a minute or a minute and a half to just express what they're really present to in this moment. Right?
Yeah, I think
That's
about
all.
3 or
Mhm.
4 minutes, rooms with 2 to 3 people, and I'm ready for
Sounds-
you. We want to
Sounds
start.
perfect. Okay, so just, whoever goes first, so whoever has the shortest hair goes first, just to make it super easy. Just express what you're present to right now. And everyone else just reflect love back and actively listen. Right? Sound good? All right, you can open them whenever you're ready.
Oh, so McCool, huh? You enjoying yourself, buddy?
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. For a second there, I thought we had the Scream Monster on the screen. Welcome back, Empress, Chantel. Oh, I think certain people probably might have left the whole room thinking they were just leaving the breakout room. Oh, look, everybody's back. Welcome back. So it was something that I slipped up early on that's worth sharing now. This is straight from Miro. Miro says, did you know that Marie Miller was my one-on-one guide behind the scenes when I went from 6 figures a year to launching the Fuck Yes Life Retreat and creating my first 6 figures in 6 sales months? She's also guided me through ending a narcissistic relationship and manifesting my compatible soulmate. All this to say, listen to Marie Miller today. She's pure magic. Her stuff works. I'm living proof. I'm so stoked for you. Just in case you didn't know, right? Let's bring Marie back up here.
Yeah, but I'm putting your calendar on here so everybody get access to Marie.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so that is the link that was just dropped is to do a is if you want to do a discovery call to chat more. I love doing discovery calls, especially if you want to chat about working with me, because I am launching a new program that starts on Monday. Hold on, I'm going to reply this really quick. So what happened is the universe decided to show me that the way I'd been teaching theta healing, the way I've been doing my magic for the last few years was no longer aligned with me. And so I was shown that the way moving forward is for me to concentrate all of my theta healing teach into a season, because I love having 4 seasons. That's why I was so happy to be back in Ohio to be like, okay, no, winter is the time where we get nerdy. We dig into our books, we cozy up. And so I've also seen a trend in the way that people are open to learning what I do, that people like, oh my God, this is amazing. I want to do all of it at once, right? So I've created a way for the people who are called that way to learn theta healing so that they can do it. So I am launching on Monday a 6-month program called the Master's Path. It is all of the magic, all the theta healing, all the healing, talking to your ancestors, healing the body, healing your heart. Right? So it's very intense. It's going to be amazing. There's also the extra goodies with it. Like we're going to do weekly practice sessions, because the goal is, imagine like we did a little snippet of what I do tonight, but imagine if you're in that energy for like 6 months solid, like what your life is going to look like to change, to be doing this work every Sunday, to be going to classes during the week and going really, really deep. So there's some people who are going to be doing all of that with me, but I know it's not feasible and just maybe not aligned for everyone to do all of that. So there's different ways to join the Master's Path. Like some people are just going to take like 3 or 4 classes and just do the practice sessions. Some people are just going to do a couple. Some people have taken some, are going to take a few more. So there's lots of ways to come and work with me and do your magic, right? So I did drop in the chat. Oh, wait, that was not in the real chat. So she has the link for the discovery call. If you're like, okay, I don't know how I want to work here, I just know that I want to work with you, definitely discover or set up a discovery call. You can also follow me at House of Kellen. That's my business name. So I'll type the spelling in the chat. If you look at me on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, if you just want to like stalk me for a little while, which is totally valid too. I know how people are. Sometimes you're like, oh, I'm gonna sit in the background for a while and soak up your energy till I'm really, really ready. That's perfectly fine. I invite you to engage any way you want. If you're like, oh my God, I know I want to work with you. I want to book you and just do sessions. That's the link. So there's tons of ways we can create this magic. Like I said, the master's path starts on Monday. You don't have to commit to all of it to join the class that we're doing on Monday. The class on, so you can dip your toes and you can test the water. We're doing the basic DNA, which actually I believe Lewis has taken, and Kermit. A few people in here have taken that class before. And if you've taken it before with Miro, I actually have like super special secret pricing too, if you just want to review it. So yeah. Because yeah, it's fun. It's fun to review with different teachers, but yeah, it's going to be magical. So questions about anything, about everything. Everyone just really thinking hard.
Not a
Lewis.
question so much as a comment.
Yes, please.
Marie is the real deal, and theta healing is the real deal. If there's one modality that can get you to where you want to go business-wise, this is it. I mean, I remember struggling to make $3,000 a month and then doing the same style of theta healing that Marie will be teaching you how to do for and with yourselves through Miro's help for like a couple months, and then going from $3,000 per month to $10,000 per month and just having a really crazy, wild, amazing life. So even if you're just considering what it would look like for you to train in this or get equipped with this skill, I invite and definitely recommend schedule a call and see what's possible. So,
Yeah.
I'd like to second that
Mhm.
emotion since you mentioned my name. I did take the class at the beginning of this month, and it changed my life almost. And on that third day, I took steps which have propelled me into another world where I've been telling people, I've just mentioned to Kelly that I'm overwhelmed sometimes because I'm getting so much. I'm doing so many Zoom calls. I'm doing so many meetings with people. I'm meeting people and they're all saying, oh, I know this person to help you. I know this person to help you. I was like, now I'm like, I got too many people trying to help me. And that's a good problem to have. You know, now I just got to funnel it into the right areas. So, but it is working. My calendar is filling up. I've made, and this is something that I started back in July and mentally, and then it led to Miro, which led to this Monday Mastermind, which led to his the theta healing class, which led to so many other things. So yes, I second the emotion, everything Luke said, and Maria's awesome. She's helped. I mean, it clears these blocks that you have that you maybe not even known you have, or maybe you thought you cleared before. So I just wanted to say my piece right there and support this whole movement. Thank you very much. I'm trying to mute myself now.
No, thank you so much for sharing. I've got a lot of messages coming in too, so. But okay, so any other comments? Anybody else want to share? Any other questions? You're all so amazing. I think we should do,
Got a
we are
question.
going to manifest in a minute too, but yes, please.
well, so I know that there are a lot of different classes that do different things, like soul buddies. You know, just
Okay.
what does it look like, that whole path?
The whole path. Okay, I'll give you the quick rundown. So first we do what we don't do they're called the foundation classes, which teach you the nuts and bolts and help you unblock like whatever beliefs you have around I can't be magical, or I'm not psychic, or I shouldn't be a healer. Yeah, and we walk you through all the different techniques. So basic DNA is how do you do the technique, right? The next class is called advanced DNA. That's when we upgrade your magic and we get rid of those voices that say you can't be magical. The third one is dig deeper. That is literally how to do the techniques. We're trying to figure out the subconscious beliefs. That is what that does. Just 2 days of just going deep into that. Then we do one called You and the Creator, which is just figuring out like, what's my voice, right? The parts of you that are leading you astray, those inner voices, learning to distinguish between your subconscious negative thoughts, your survival self, and creator, and also between different parts of divinity. And then on the business side, I love these classes. We have a Course of Manifested in Abundance class, just like it sounds. We have a class called You in the Inner Circle, which is about your relationships, like who you have in your business, how they affect your business. Right? That's really important. Like how right? It teaches you literally how to have the right team energetically and how to call in the perfect clients for you. So that's been a powerful one. We do a class called World Relations, which is, that's when we get into the ancestors. Who did your ancestors have disagreements with? Why did they disagree with them? And then just clearing all of that, clearing all the drama, clearing all the trauma from your ancestors. So that's usually a pretty deep, fun class for everybody. And you get to meet all these cool people, you know, that you're descended from. So then we also, like you said, have 2 love classes. We have a soulmates class, how to call in your soulmate. And then we have the one to how to deal with them, right? Once you get them, so that helps you. Because, you know, they're always, if your soulmate is always going to be teaching you things. So you have you and your boo, is what I call it. It's you and your significant partner, which teaches you, you know, how to work through those things. Then there's a 15-day class where every single day we talk to a different part of your body. Like we talk to the lungs, we talk to the skin, and we understand every emotion that's present there, and we heal everything, right? Everything that comes up for you that's going wrong. And that also teaches you to work on clients to go and be like, oh, here's what your spleen's saying. So you get really good at doing body scans in that one. Then disease and disorder is when you learn how to be completely fearless when you are presented with diseases in your life or someone else's life, right? Because it's hard for you to heal something if you're afraid of it. So that's a fun class. And then DNA 3 is the magic class. That's when we're like, hey, can you move this with your mind? And then you see if you can do it. If you can, that's great. If you can't, we figure out why and we work through those blocks. So oh, the one before disease and disorder is called Intuitive Anatomy. That's my favorite class. Intuitive Anatomy, that one's 15 days. And I'm not going to teach you like physical anatomy. It's not like going to nursing school because I'm an intuitive. So we're using yeah, it's about learning the energy of the different parts of the body. So it's another perspective. So yeah, it's pretty fun. That's really the one, because I thought I wanted to be a medical doctor when I was a kid. Actually, I wanted to go into virology, but I'm allergic to medicine. So I could feel the universe pushing me into a different path. I have like 4 pretty severe medical allergies. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to go this way. And that's really the big thing that got me into theta healing. So that's the rundown of the things that you can learn. There's other little ones, but those are the main ones that are in the master's path.
Love that. Just madly in love. Follow-up question.
Yep.
And then I think we'll probably have a concluding sort of breakout session just for biggest takeaway stuff. But what's your story? Like, how did you discover theta healing and how has it shifted your life? I mean, beyond just the magic earlier, which was amazing.
Oh gosh. I mean, in some ways, I think I might have been dead 3 times over if I hadn't discovered theta healing, because I've been through some stuff. But I discovered it initially when I was getting daily migraines. I just moved from Cleveland to San Diego. Life was pretty grand, except for the fact that I was in pain every single day, all the time. And I worked at Dave & Buster's, which didn't help. And I'm just like, okay, I'm allergic to so much medicine. I don't, my relationship with doctors has changed. At that point, I didn't trust doctors. And I just saw a sign in a window that said foot bath. I'm like, fuck it, I'll try anything, right? So I go in and I meet this lovely couple. The wife did theta healing and the husband did nutrition. And 3 months later, I was completely migraine free. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that caught my attention. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And so I got the book and just started reading, just started working with the energy even before I took a class. And sorry guys, we're gonna talk about lady stuff, but I went in for my annual and the doctor's all like, oh, you better come in next week. We have to do a biopsy right away. Because, it's not often, that look that sometimes your doctors have where they're like, get a little panicky. So I'm like, okay, she's serious. So I went home and I just sat with that book and I cleared everything I could possibly do. And I go back in for the biopsy and they're like, oh, I must have made a mistake. There's nothing there. Everything's fine. Oops, sorry. So either they really did make a mistake or I cleared something amazing. Makes sense. But yeah, after that, I just like, this is real. This is really real. And I just kept seeing different ways that we create miracles. And then one day I was talking to a friend and he was like, oh, I wish I could do what you do. I'm like, I'll teach you, which apparently I just learned to have a manifesting generator, which is apparently how I work. If someone says, oh, you should do this, teach me this, then I just need to respond. So yeah, and then I went and took all the classes. And I think I was sharing earlier that I think one of the biggest things I've had, yes, I've been able to completely transform my health. But what I really love is the fact that I went from being over my lifetime, being in 4 different really abusive relationships. So yeah, now not dating the great guys or dating soulmates and dumping them, which is a longer story, to actually finally having the perfect, most amazing soulmate, right? To just being fully in love, fully respected. So I actually learned how to shift all that energy and have a second chance at love. So that's a story in a nutshell, but it really was by going through and digging and clearing out the different beliefs. So, all right. So any other questions?
You had said before, I think, that we would need to take 3 classes before we take the other ones, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, there are prerequisites for some of the classes.
Okay.
So you need to take basic, advanced, and dig deeper to move on. If you want to become a teacher, or if you want to do intuitive anatomy, you also need you and the creator.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. So after you and the creator, it's pretty much a choose your own adventure. Some people like me, I like to really master things and go all the way down the rabbit hole. But I know plenty of people who just kind of pick and choose from year to year what they want to do. So.
Thank you. I'll be setting an appointment with you.
Okay, great. And then we can, because I see like a direct message from you. Yeah, we can just talk about all that there.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions, or is it time for everyone for Lewis to lead through the? Okay.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Ah.
All right,
Awesome job. No question, but just great job. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
That's exactly where I was going next.
Yeah,
Everybody,
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say
Wow.
grateful. Yeah.
Mhm.
send some
All
loving gratitude to Marie.
Mhm.
This is amazing. Cool. So I'm gonna jump in here.
right.
So was that awesome, y'all? Put it in the chat box. If it was cool, just give us a thumbs up. All that.
Oh.
All right. So we are officially concluding in about 6 minutes. In those 6 minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to send you back out into breakout rooms. Usually we have a full sort of presentation around this. I'm just going to go through it in very brief on how best to make use of the breakout rooms, right? Introducing who you are. Like, who are you serving? So that we can tell, if somebody's new to you, they can know who to refer you to. Who are you? Who do you serve? If there's any major challenge you're dealing with, and make sure to clarify that so your person can understand what you're talking about. And then we'll have you all share with each other what we call crops. These here: connections, resources, opportunity, people, and systems to solve what they're dealing with. And then that will conclude promptly at 6:30. We'll conclude our breakout rooms and the Manifest X Mastermind. Everybody clear? Any questions? Okay, excellent. So I'm going to unshare, create some breakout rooms for you all. I'm going to recreate so that you're with different people. All right, beautiful. All right, it has been an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to serve y'all today. I'll see you on the flip side, and have a wonderful time in breakout rooms. Enjoy.
Thank you. Is Miro going to be present at the next meeting?
That's all up to Miro. We'll find out by next Monday, though.
Okay, I was thinking he would be here this time. By what
Nope,
I
he
was
said
texted.
he will. So I just found out from the team that he definitely will. So good question.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. All right, looks like James, you're in room 4. And we're in the main room, and that concludes Manifest X Mastermind. Wow.